This content will be recorded and made available in an accessible alternative format upon request. If you require captioning, transcription, or other communication services to access this content, please contact the Disability Resource Center at drc@snhu.edu or 877-591-4723. Select option 4. Hey guys and gals, this is Dr. Willis just logging in for your weekend announcement. Congratulations is in order again. We've made it to another Friday. So we're plugging along. The term is almost coming to a close. So just keep up the great work. Keep doing what you're doing each week. So let's go ahead and talk about a few of the assignments that we had this week. There was the discussion board, the Learn Smart activity, and the journal. So let's first talk about the discussion board really quick. You should have your initial post complete at this point. That was due yesterday, Thursday at 11:59. Now, at this point, you should be responding to classmates, to your peers. Be sure to be encouraging, engaging, uplifting, and also provide some things when you respond that'll lead to further discussion. That will be beneficial in helping everybody understand the activity. Now, the Learn Smart activity that we did through the book, that should also be complete by now. I mean, it's due at 11:59 on Sunday, but to be able to engage in the discussion board, you need to have that activity complete. And to complete that activity, you need the book. So if you haven't been able to purchase the book, please do so right away. If you're having difficulty getting that book or logging in or getting it downloaded, contact someone ASAP. Do not hesitate. You cannot do the assignments and you cannot get credit for any Learn Smart activity if you don't have the book. Now, the journal. After you watch this video, there's going to be another piece that I give you some tips and tools about the journal entry. So I'm going to hold off in discussing that in great detail. Just know it is due by 11:59 on Sunday. I've seen in the Grade Center that a lot of people haven't done this, and I'm starting to think it's because you don't quite understand how to approach this journal. So I'm going to give you a few tips, a few tools, some critical things to look at as you approach the journal. Now, that's really all I have this week. This was a very short video, but I always want to leave you with some encouraging words to stay motivated, keep grinding, make sure you're planning, managing your time, make sure you tell your family you love them, kiss them, pray for everybody in South Carolina or in the Carolinas, in that area who's ever been affected by this storm, and just keep up the great work. As I always say, it's been really enjoyable for me to teach you, from responding to you in discussion board posts to getting some emails, different levels of feedback. It's been a pleasure. So please understand that I am extremely grateful to be teaching you. Hopefully you're grateful to have the class and you're learning and growing as we're going through each term. Now, stay tuned. I'm going to talk about some tips that'll help you in the journal. Now, it won't be a video. I'm going to capture the screen of what you're seeing in Blackboard. So stay tuned and watch the short clip after this video. All right, have a good weekend. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, so let's talk about this journal entry. It's kind of stomping a few people, so I want to give you a few more details. I noticed a few people have not, well, quite a few have not yet posted the journal entry, so I figured I would give some last-minute tips because it is due Sunday at 11:59. So this will give you a few different things to think about as you go about the assignment. So, of course, we go to learning modules first. And then we will open module 3. This is in module 3, okay? And hopefully by now everybody has read the prompt, all right? The prompt is right here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, the prompt is right here. All right, so let's look at the instructions and let's dissect this journal entry from the beginning. So at the top, I'm going to read it to you. It says your final assignment in this course is a short paper describing your motivations for starting college. This final paper is due in Module 7 and will be graded using an associated rubric. The rubric includes valuable information about what your final paper should include and how the assignment will be graded. All right, this is what you are to do. Open and read the short paper rubric, which can be found in the assignment guidelines and rubric section of the course. Here are the questions associated with the journal entry. What are the critical elements in the rubric? So right now, on a separate sheet or in Microsoft Word, go ahead and write that question. What are the critical elements in the rubric? Okay, of these elements, and I think there are 4, of these elements, which do you think will give you the least trouble as you work on your assignment? Or, in put another way, which element will be the easiest for you to write about? Okay. Conversely, which will be the hardest for you to master or to write about, and why? Okay. So let's not forget the why. That's when we explain our reasons for choosing each particular element. It goes on to say, post a 2 to 3 paragraph journal article answering the above questions, which were the first question, what are the critical elements in the rubric? And there are 4. Of the 4 elements, which do you think will give you the least trouble as you work on the assignment? Third question, which will be the hardest to master as you work on the assignment? And why? Why for each? All right. And it also says, please refer to the blog journal rubric in the assignment guidelines section of the course to understand grading criteria for this journal entry. To begin the assignment, click on the journal, the 3-2 journal, understanding rubrics. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to click the assignment guidelines and rubrics section so I can access the short paper rubric guidelines. I am struggling with that word, by the way. Rubrics. I'll get it. So scroll down a little bit. I click short paper rubric and it's going to open up for me. Okay, now we have the short paper rubric downloaded. Now, remember the first part of the journal prompt. It said at the end of the term, we'll have a paper due that's going to discuss a few different things about the term. So on this document, it discusses that paper. It talks about that paper. So from the top, it says college is a unique experience for each student. Each student is probably motivated by different factors. In the final short paper for this course, you will summarize your motivations for starting college and describe your plans to stay motivated through to graduation. Now, let's dissect the journal questions. First, what are the critical elements of the rubric? So we scroll down a little bit, and here in this chart is the rubric. All right. So on to this column, critical elements. First question answered for us. So we simply list them. Initial motivations, continued motivations, motivation plan, or writing mechanics. All right. So we have those listed. All right. Now the next thing it says is, based on the final paper, which of these elements do you think is going to be the easiest for you to write about? Okay, so I have to break down my elements and I have to ask myself, is it going to be easy for me to write about initial motivations, my initial reasons for getting started? Is it going to be easy for me to write about how I plan to stay motivated, my continued motivations, what's going to keep me going as we go through the terms, my motivation plan, everything that I put in place, the different things that I plan to do as we go through. Is that going to be the easiest for me to write about, or my writing mechanics? Is that going to be easy for me to write about? How I plan to structure the paper, how I formulate my sentences, the flow of my paper. So we have to determine which of these four elements will be the hardest and which of the four elements will be the easiest. Everybody follow that? So the rubric kind of breaks it down for us. We see what the question is going to be at the end of the term. Okay, it's up in this area. Now we have to look at the critical elements. The journal asks you to list the critical elements of the rubric. We have those right in this area. Now it simply asks us to give your opinion or your thoughts on which will be easiest and which will be hardest. Now, I hope that short little, well, wasn't that short, but I hope that helped you out and gave you an idea of what exactly to write about for this journal. All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye.